Good evening. As if by magic, the shopkeeper appeared. Nice to be here again. I tell you one thing, it sure is cold here. Or outside anyway, it sure is cold. So, we've done with our British Hussars, and they're done. So we're moving on to our British foot artillery. Oh, the postman came today. Before I go on to that, the postman came today. I know what this is. I actually know what this is. Well, I would do because I ordered it. And I mean, you know, it's not like I'm waiting for a variety of things and I don't know which one this is. I mean, I know what this is. There we go. Two packs of grass tufts, which have been stuck together. I don't know whether I can unstick these. Oh yeah. Yeah. So we will, if I can get these apart. Dot a few of these around on our, God, this stuff sticks. Get rid of this stuff. Sticks like shit to a blanket, this stuff. We will, there we go. There we go. That's better. Excuse me a minute. Yeah, we will dot some of these around on our British Hussars in a bit. That gives you a better shot of some of the different colours in there. So we'll dot a few of these around on our Hussars just to add the finishing touch. I always think these things, these little grass tufts and stuff, they just add the finishing touch. They just make it look just professional job, put it that way. So that's a little job for in a minute. So our British foot artillery, excuse me, I'm slow of thought this evening. Our British foot artillery by House of Campaign, or as I see it there, I call to arms. Are quite nice figures, I have to say. They've been deflashed as much as I can deflash them. Primed. And I've had the flesh tones completed with the highlights, and the base blue of the jacket's been done. I did that today, the base blue of the jacket, before I had to go out. So that's nice. The plastic is a little bit sort of harder than a hat or an Airfix figure, which are like almost spongy sort of polythene figures, whereas these are a bit harder. And you can notice it if you drop a few on the table. You can hear a different sort of sound with them. And I like the harder plastic. It doesn't tend to fray up quite as much when you're scraping mold lines off and stuff, which is nice. The other thing I gotta say is 4 gunners to a cannon artillery piece, which is a little bit limited. And the poses are a little bit limited as well. You only get 4 poses, so same 4 for each artillery piece, which is a little bit limited to me. Although the poses you get are, yeah, okay. Guy with the sort of, I don't know what you call that thing. They use it for sponging the barrel out, get rid of any embers. You have to be careful. These bend very, very easily. They're very, very fine, so they bend easily. There's a guy lighting the cannon, lighting the charge. That also bends very easily, so be careful. And the figure I do actually like very much. It's a guy carrying the bucket. That's a good pose. That gives you a sense of sort of how heavy that bucket is. You see him with his arm out, trying to counterbalance the sort of bucket. That's nice. I like that pose. So that's the 4 poses you get, which is, yeah, a bit limited. Possibly even you want 6 gunners to an artillery piece. So I'm now starting to think that I might make some gunners up. That's what I'm thinking. Because the uniform is the same as an infantry uniform. Alright, there's no backpack. But outside of that, uniform is the same. So I'm now, excuse me, breaking wind, starting to think, I could possibly make some extra gunners, because I have a lot of airfix, British infantry, and odds and ends. So I could just, excuse me, cut off the backpack. Then I could make 2 more per artillery piece. That would only be 8 more figures. Yeah, that's what's now going through my mind. And I could make some that are two extra per gun. I wouldn't make each 2 extra per gun the same. I could vary them, if you see what I mean. I could vary them around. Yeah, I'm going to look into this. I'm going to go through my boxes and see what figures I've got. Yeah, and I did notice also, I'm really slow of thought tonight. One thing I did notice was I was looking at the uniforms, or the uniform I should say, and they had grey pants, but I saw some illustrations where they had white pants. Now whether that was a slightly earlier period, they had the white pants, and the grey pants come in sort of like 1813, 1815, that sort of period. I don't know. Some of you out there might know better than I, because you've been doing this longer than I have. I've not been doing this very long. I don't know a lot about this type of stuff really. All I really tend to do is look online and look in my books to try and get an idea of the uniform. But I've seen illustrations of foot artillery with white pants. So I thought possibly what I might do also is just 2 or 3 maybe, or maybe 4 perhaps. I'd give them white pants. Also just to vary it a little bit, just to break it up a little bit. So that's what I'm sort of thinking. But yeah, quite nice figures. The detail, the level of detail on these figures, it's very nice. I mean, I looked on the PSR website and they scored 40 out of 50, which is not bad, really, it's not bad. I mean, historical accuracy was 9, moulding was 9. I mean, there was, I forget what the categories are, I always forget what the categories are on that, but there was 4 9s and a 4. And the 4 was for, you know, pose quality, number of poses was 4, because you only get 4 figures and they're all the same. You get 4 sprees in the box and they're all exactly the same, so they've scored them low, which is, that was my gripe when I first came on here this evening. That was my gripe. There's not enough variety in the figures, but we might do something about that now. So that's good. Yeah, they scored 40 out of 50. So that was, yeah, not bad, not bad. Whereas if you look at the Ravel, British Foot Artillery, you don't get so many guns in that set, apparently. I'm looking into this now. You don't get so many guns in that set, but you get more figures with a better range of poses. You get more crew figures per gun, but not so many guns. So I might see if I can find a box of Ravel Foot Artillery and get a box of them. But anyway, that's where we're at. Deflashed, washed, undercoated, flesh toned, all done, and base coat, blue tunic. And what I thought the other evening was, before I go quickly and let you get on with whatever you're doing, I thought I had about half a dozen guns done for the Brits, because we got, as we told you previous, we got 15 for the French, which is not a bad battery of guns actually on a gaming table. 15, that'll give somebody a headache trying to stop 15 guns firing. I thought I'd done about half a dozen for the British, and I went through my boxes and I'd only done 3 for the British, so we want another 12. Well, here's 4, so that leaves another 8. So I then went through I got a lot of cardboard boxes just stacked inside with packets of miniatures. I was searching for Allied artillery, and I got almost to the end and I thought, this is a fruitless search. I'm gonna have to go on eBay for this one. But as luck would have it, right at the end, the Prussians saved the day. Two boxes of Prussian artillery, both with 4 guns. So that's our 8 guns. So we get all these done. That'll be both sides with 15 guns. So that's not bad. And the British will have a slight advantage because they've got Congreve rockets as well. But I did notice this is box, as you can see on the corner there, 8007, and this one is 8007. So to all intents and purposes, the same box. But this box as you can see, comes with 4 pack horses, which is nice. I'm not sure oh yeah, that comes with selection of barrels as well. They both do. Yeah, so this one comes with 4 pack horses, which the other box doesn't, but they're both listed as box 8007. So yeah, whether they started off supplying pack horses and then dropped the idea, or whether they started off with just the basic box and then decided to add pack horses, I don't know. And I have seen those pack horses for sale on eBay, just the pack horses. I saw somebody selling some, but they were at a ridiculous price, so I mean, 4 pack horses is enough just to stick somewhere on the gaming table. But that's 2 boxes of Prussian artillery. See, they have 6 crew figures per gun, which is more like it, really. Whereas these have just 4, these British foot just have 4. So I'm now starting to think I might be able to produce something from some infantry figures, but I'm going to look into that in a minute. So that's really all I've got to say this evening. I'm going to dot some grass tufts around on my British Hussars, go through my infantry packets and see what I can find that could be used as artillery gunners. So as always, thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, thanks for your comments. Anything I can help you with, I always will if I can. Somebody was asking me the other day, quickly before I go, about gluing this type of plastic together, because they had, I think it was a wagon or something they had, and they were trying to glue the pieces together, and they were in great difficulty gluing it together. Well, I had the same problem with the hat Congreve rockets and the little tripods with the rocket on. Even super glue, believe it or not, I didn't really want to touch it. I did get there in the end with super glue, but it was a hell of a job. So I haven't had cause really to glue any of this plastic together since, so I had nothing that needed gluing since, but I did suggest, I think might be a good try on this sort of plastic, is to to Maya stuff, because that's almost like, oh, that stuff's almost a bit like a solvent, and it sort of melts the plastic a little bit, so that might be worth trying. Yeah, so anything I can help you with, I will if I can. Thanks to everybody for subscribing. Thanks to everybody for your comments. Yeah, see you on the next one.